Today we are going to practice taking Cornell notes. So what we need to start with is everybody make sure you can see your copy of the article that that is linked in your Schoology assignment about Marie Curie. So go ahead and get that ready to go. And then I'm going to use lined paper to make my notes, but some of you I know may have printed out the template that we made, and that's fine too. While everybody's getting organized, get your Marie Curie article ready to go, but also fill in your name and the date. Today is August. What day are we going to be doing this? I'm not sure. So I'm doing it, so we'll say it's the 27th. I'm not sure if that's right or not, but whatever today's date is, put the date in, and then the name of the article is Marie Curie. When you start if you end up using Cornell Notes as your preferred note-taking method, you probably don't need to put your name on your notes. You do need to do that for me, but even when you're just taking your notes for yourself, write the date on there. That is really, really helpful. Okay, so every time you start Cornell Notes, write the date and the name of the article or the subject that you are taking notes about. Now, if you're going to use just plain paper like I am, first thing you need to do is you need to put some lines on there. So you're going to put a line like that, and then another one down the side, and it's going to go all the way down to there. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. One more. That's all we're going to get, huh? Okay, and then down toward the bottom, you're going to make another line. So you've got this big shape there. So a line at the top, line at the bottom, and a line down the side, so we can divide up our paper into boxes. And again, I'm going to zoom in a little bit now. Okay. And again, we're going to put our name. And the date. And we're going to put the title of the article, Marie Curie. Now the idea behind Cornell Notes is we're going to read the article, and as we read, we're going to pick out the important parts, important things that we think we need to know. So as we start here, we're going to start Marie Curie, occupation scientist, born November 7th, 1867 in Warsaw, Poland, died July 4th, 1934 in Passy, I don't know how to say that, France, and best known for her work in radioactivity. So we're going to start with the section called Where Did Marie Grow Up? Marie Curie grew up in Warsaw, Poland, where she was born on November 7th, 1867. Her birth name was Maria Sklodowska, but her family called her Mania. Her parents were both teachers. Her dad taught math and physics, and her mom was headmistress at a girls' school. Marie was the youngest of 5 children. Growing up the child of 2 teachers, Marie was taught to read and write early. She was a very bright child and did well in school. She had a sharp memory and worked hard on her studies. Now, so some things that I took away from reading that first section is that Marie was born in Warsaw, Poland, on November 7th, 1867. And her parents were teachers. So Marie was taught early to read and write. And we know that she was very bright, had a sharp memory, and she worked hard. So those are all bits from this article. There's a lot of other facts in there. We know that her birth name was Maria Skodowska. If you think that's important, you can put that in there also. If you think it's important that her dad taught math and physics, especially considering she became a physics professor later herself, you can put that in there. You need to write the notes that you think are important for you. Now that we've gathered this information, what we do in the column on the left is we put a sort of a summary of what those notes are related to. And our article's kind of done that for us. They've given us these headers. Whenever you have headers like that, if that's how you break up your notes, use those headers for your titles over here on the left. So we're going to write over here, where did Marie grow up? So now we have this section of notes. These are the things that we think are important, and this is the big question. So as we look at this, we can quickly find where did Marie grow up, and then we have some individual notes that we think are important about where Marie grew up. So that's kind of the basic idea on how we take Cornell Notes. Okay, we're going to move on to the next section now. We're going to do one more section together, and then I'll show you what a summary for this might look like, what we're going to do at the bottom of the page. But then I'm going to leave you on your own to finish up the rest of the Cornell Notes for the rest of the article. I will post my notes at the end of the week so you can compare what you got in your notes with what I came away with. So the next section is called Tough Times in Poland. As Marie grew older, her family came upon tough times. Poland was under the control of Russia at the time. People were not even allowed to read or write anything in the Polish language. Her father lost his job because he was in favor of Polish rule. Then when Marie was 10, her oldest sister Zofia became sick and died from the disease typhus. 2 years later, her mother died from tuberculosis. This was a difficult time for the young Marie. After graduating from high school, Marie wanted to attend a university, but this wasn't something that young women did in Poland in the 1800s. The university was for men. However, there was a famous university in Paris, France, called the Sorbonne, that women could attend. Marie did not have the money to go there, but agreed to work to help pay for her sister, Bronislawa, to go to school in France, and if she would help Marie after she graduated. So now, let's write down some of the key points from that. So we know that it was a rough time for Marie. Part of that was because Poland was under Russian control. And her father lost his job, which made life difficult for the family. So her father lost his job. And Marie's mother and one of her sisters died before she was 12 years old. After high school, Marie wanted to go to the university. That was not allowed in Poland. I'm going to stop here for just a second. Up to now, each of the points that I've made has been on one line, so it's really clear each line was a new idea. But now that one was a longer thought and it took up 2 lines, so it's kind of hard to tell where each thought is. So one thing that might be helpful is if we go back and we'll make little bullet points so that we can tell where each new idea starts. Now we'll leave that second line undotted and we'll know that all this goes to that one idea. So Marie couldn't go to university, so Marie, worked in Poland to help pay for her sister to go to Sorbonne, which was the university in France. So now that's all the key points that I pull out of this one. Again, there are other important facts in there. You can put more details in about how her mother and sister died. You can say that her father lost his job because he was in favor of Polish rule. What details you think are important are what you put in your notes. But now we're going to give the section a title. And again, we're going to call this one Tough Times in Poland. We'll use what the article gave us. Okay, so now what we're going to do at the bottom of the page is to write a summary for the entire page. Now you'll have to add a little bit more to your summary, but just to summarize what we've learned so far, Marie was born in Poland. She's a very bright girl. And she had a very difficult early life. Okay. And she worked hard so she could go to school in France. All right, so those are our notes, our Cornell notes for the first couple of sections of the article. And it should look something like that. And so you're going to keep going for the rest of the sections of the article. School in France, scientific discoveries, new elements, Nobel Prizes, World War I, and death. And then you can add some of those facts about Marie Curie at the end of your notes if you like. As I said, I'll post my completed notes at the end of the week, and you should be able to make your way through the notes if you missed class today by using these techniques. So send me a note if you have any questions. Bye now.